I shared this before that myself and my wife received this email from Brenda Bay. And in the email, it was a text actually. In the text, there was this song, and Brenda says, "This song is for your wife." My wife had been in the hospital. And as we listened to the song was teaching, be that someone, right? Be that someone. And, you know, from that, I was so moved by it. You know, we actually set that as our theme for this year, be that someone. You know, we're going to have an annual meeting next Sunday, so be sure to put that on your schedule. And we're going to be working off that theme, but the theme is going to extend to raising consciousness to meet our day. Raising consciousness to meet our day. Be that someone and raise your consciousness to meet our day. So this morning's talk is really playing off that. And the title of the talk is Extracting the Remembrance Signal Within a High Noise Environment. Extracting the remembrance signal within a high noise environment. Extract that signal, not the noise, and serve the remembrance signal. So let me ask you a question. Have you been in a time in your life where you've entered into this phase where it was a very, very high noise environment? Yeah. You know, maybe it was conflict in your family, or maybe it was stress related at work, or maybe it was a health challenge. But in some way, you were in moments, and they just continued, these moments of this emotional field around you, very loud, very chaotic, and at times just overwhelming. Have you been there? Yes. It's part of our journey. So the obvious next question is, would you say we are living right now in a very high noise environment on our planet and in our country? Yeah. But there's some good news. There's some really good news. Within every high noise environment, there is a seed within it for your own awakening and for this planet's awakening. Within every high noise environment, there is a seed that is waiting to blossom and to blossom through you. Now, before we go any further, let's define what this term remembrance signal is, right? I mean, it's not a word from Charles Fillmore. It's not a term from New Thought, and it's not really even a term within, the spiritual community. What is a remembrance signal? A remembrance signal is the remembrance of home. It's the remembrance of home. It is the presence of truth, seated inside the noise of the world, calling our consciousness back to remembrance of our unity with the unified source field of life, the Father, and the divinity we all really are. Within every high noise environment, that signal is there. You know, as the prodigal son, you know that story. Most know that story. Amidst all this noise of the famine and the pigs, you know, and in that time they used the illustration of the noise of the pigs as just this lower vibration, this lower consciousness environment was the pigs, the noise of the pigs. But amidst the noise of the pigs and all the shame, all the projection that was going on in his life, amidst all that, it says that he came to himself. He heard the remembrance signal, and he shifts, and he found out everyone is always welcome with open arms to the Father's house where there is abundant supply. The scripture actually says that, I remember, says the prodigal son, who I truly am. I am a child of my Father, and my Father's house is home, and all are welcome there with open arms. That's the remembrance signal that's always there. Remembrance is a seed, it's a signal that desires to blossom and realize what's within. You know, the mystic Jesus also called that source of life, he called it the Father, right? We know that. You know, throughout his life, this Wayshower, in the midst of extraordinary noise, Jesus kept repeating three remarkable statements. He had a mantra that he would repeat. And he would said to himself when he comes home, and he even prayed that we all would know that I, the Christ within, and the Father are one. I and the unified source field of all life are one. He also had a mantra that says, the Father who dwells in me does the work. And I do nothing of my own. It is the Father within who does the work. Now here's the thing we're bringing clarity to this morning. These remembrance statements amidst the noise are not statements of passivity. They're not statements of passivity at all. What they are, they're statements of coherence. They reveal a consciousness, a memory that is completely aligned with this living source of reality. Now here's the paradox. Many, I'm discovering, when we hear that statement, it's not I who does the work, it's the Father within. There's this assumption that it means do nothing. They're hearing in the teaching, like withdraw, be passive, disengage from life. But that is not, we know, what Jesus modeled. At home with the Remembrance Signal, Jesus was not passive. Not at all. What he was deeply engaged in life with meeting the moment in consciousness and deed. He wasn't passive, he healed, he confronted injustice, he taught, he walked directly into truth or into conflict when truth called for it. So how do we reconcile that paradox? It is not I who does the work, but the Father within. Together with, we are called to fully engage in life. How do we reconcile that? Well, it comes from, the reconciliation this comes from something absolutely profound, ancient and beautiful. You find it hidden in the meaning of the word for love in Hebrew. The meaning for the word for love, or the name of the word for love in Hebrew is ahava. Ahava, right? The meaning of that word is very, very different than what we often think about when we think about love. You know, in our culture, we think about it as an emotion or a feeling or this romantic experience, right? That's what we think of it in our culture. But in the Torah and in Jesus' teaching, the loving God and the love they were referring to can be summarized as a relationship and a participatory engagement with life. To love and love God means to be fully present and responsive to what the moment is calling for. Can you see that relationship? It's a relationship with life. It's a relationship where you show up fully to what the moment is calling for. To be in the relationship with the moment and engaged in it. That's to love God. That reconciles the paradox. You show up for what's being called for in the moment. Love is not withdrawal, but it's also not fragmentation. It's not shutting down and not showing up with your whole self. Love is the mind, the heart, and the soul completely engaged with the moment, but it's not a chaotic engagement. Let me say that again. Love is the mind, the heart, and the soul completely engaged with the moment, but it's not chaotic engagement. It's an engagement where one remains centered while extracting the remembrance signal within the noise and aligns with and serves the remembrance signal, the solution. The solution. They're not aligned with the noise, not the projections, the problem. The projections are the problem. The prodigal son, amidst all the noise, at first, he's aligned with the projection. I'm not worthy. They're not worthy. All this around me is not worthy, right? He's in the projections. But for the mystic, the one who's come home to themselves, their mind, their heart, and their body are all responding to the signal, trying to blossom in the present moment, not the projection. That's coherence. That's coherence. And that's loving God. And that is the answer for our day. It's the answer of every noisy environment. Nothing inside the mystic is fighting what the moment is asking of them. The mystic engages with the whole self, but it's not a chaotic engagement. Now here's something very important to notice. The remembrance signal. It rarely shows up with a voice that says something like this. Hello, remember that you are all one with the Father, and the Father through love is most interested in conscious unity and the divinity with all of you blossoming. Has that everybody ever heard a voice like that? All right. It doesn't show up like that. So how does this remembrance signal show up amongst the noise? It's always there. It's always within it. How does it show up? It often shows up as longing. A longing. A longing for justice. A longing for belonging. A longing for dignity. A longing for healing. Listen for that in the midst of the noise. That signal is there. Hear the longing for the justice. Hear the longing for the belonging. Hear the longing for dignity. Hear the longing for healing, and serve that signal. Serve that signal. Serve that signal. Let's look at a moment or a scene in the life of Jesus that just perfectly illustrates this. I mean, it is a scene that is a very, very, very noisy scene, and it's the scene right before, during, and after Palm Sunday. That is a very, very noisy scene. In fact, it's one of the highest noise environments in the whole Gospels. I mean, the crowd is shouting, the city is absolutely stirred, and the religious authorities, they're anxious. And the political system is watching. It's watching. And Jesus enters Jerusalem, and the crowd cries, Hosanna, 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 save us, save us, save us. You know, and Hosanna means save us now, save us now. The noisy crowd is fragmented in consciousness and is projecting on to Jesus. That's noise. That's projection. Projection is not the signal. Hosanna, save us. That's fragmentation of self. Something outside us, save us. Somebody come and save us. It's not showing up with the whole self, and it's not engaging the moment. In fact, what it's doing is blocking the Father from doing its work through them. What's blocking them? Something outside me. Save me. Something come and save the day. Save us. That's projection. That's noise. You see, this isn't wholeness. This isn't loving God. Even if it was Jesus they were shouting at. Even if it was Jesus they were shouting at. What it is, it's showing up fragmented. It's showing up divided in mind. That's not transformational power, and it definitely blocks the Father from doing the work. The crowds are shouting. They want a political savior. They want a revolutionary leader, someone who will overthrow the empire. The noise is loud, but Jesus hears something deeper. Christ's consciousness hears something deeper. He hears the signal beneath the noise. The noise beneath the noise is the signal that is a longing. There's a longing there. The signal is the cry of the people who are suffocating under domination. They're absolutely suffocating under domination. The signal there was that humanity is longing for liberation, and he serves that by demonstrating the ultimate liberation. He serves that liberation by demonstrating the ultimate liberation, freedom from the ego's projections. To allow the Father to resurrect the day while serving the signal. Do you see it? Yeah. Jesus demonstrated true liberation, the very thing the crowd was shouting for. Jesus doesn't reject the crowd's longing. He doesn't try to correct them. But he also doesn't conform to their projections. Instead, he extracts a signal. He aligns with that deeper longing, not the surface agenda. Here's the thing. Christ's consciousness does not argue with the noise. It reads the signal. Are you with me? It reads the signal. Here's something else that's fascinating about that story. The same crowds that were shouting Hosanna turn around and say, crucify him. Right? Why? Because projection can't sustain itself. It can't sustain itself. Through all the scene, Jesus remains coherent through perception, not through countering with projection. And that's our call today, too. That's our call. The difference between projection and Christ's perception is projection attaches to outcome. Save us. Crucify him. Projection attaches to outcome. But signal extraction, Christ's perception, listens beneath emotion. Projection says this leader will save us. Signal extraction says this community longs for liberation. I'll demonstrate for them a truly liberated, and here's the thing, a truly liberated and a truly sovereign life. Are you with me? Yeah. Becoming sovereign beings who are stepping out of our own subtle control systems of our day is also the call of our day. Have you noticed? It's the call of our day too. Pay attention, closer attention to the signal. Don't try to tear the system down. Demonstrate sovereign choice and create a new one by extracting the signal and serving that. We are in the process of doing that. So perhaps you're hearing the signals yourself of our day, right? We're moving into a new day. Old systems are passing away. We're creating new ones. How do I help others hear the signal? You don't force people to hear the signal. You help them through living in coherence as a sovereign one. And when one person remains calm, present, strong, bold, humble, compassionate, and sovereign in the midst of chaos, something remarkable happens. What happens is other nervous systems begin to regulate, and then people feel the coherence. They feel the love. They feel the presence, and they see sovereign choice is the new way to transformation. Sovereign choice and coherence is the new way to transformation. Jesus didn't choose the way the powers were exerting on the crowd. He didn't choose that way. And he wasn't fragmented in consciousness through projection as the crowd was. He chose demonstration of wholeness and the power within it to transform. That's the way he served the signal. So the question for us today is, how do we eliminate the noise? That's not the question, actually. That's not the question. How do we eliminate the noise? The question is, can we remain coherent enough to hear the signal? Can we stay aligned with love? Can we stay engaged with what the signal is calling us to serve, showing up in the moment? The moment is showing us this is time for sovereign life. That's what it is. A new day is coming. Align with that. Serve that. Not the crowd noise. Not the crowd noise. Focus on the solution, not the problem, some say in New Thought movement. Focus on the solution and not the problem. Can we allow the Father within to move through us to do his work as we each live coherent and sovereign lives? When we do, what happens is life begins to awaken all around us. So I would ask you this question this morning, a simple one, an obvious one. Will we react to the noise and become the noise? Or will we extract the remembrance signal and engage the movement as powerful transmitters of the signal? the signal that's being remembered by all of us right now. Being remembered by all of us. We're all wanting to come home in a greater way. It's what all this transformation that's going on about. It's not about the noise. It's about the signal that's in the noise. We want to come home in greater ways, live yet more authentic lives, have a planet where there's yet more authentic life expressed all throughout it. Extract, serve, transmit, and demonstrate the Remembrance Signal as a sovereign one, and you'll transform your life, you'll transform life around you, and you'll transform our day. Be that someone. Be that someone. And commit to raising your consciousness to me today, for thou art the Christ in this moment. Thou art the Christ in this moment. Thou art the one who's riding on the donkey into the city of Jerusalem, riding the donkey into the city of peace, right? Thou art the Christ in this moment. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend David. And in the spirit of evoking that signal together, I'm going to invite everybody to sing along once we get to the refrain of this song. Stand, I think many know it. And I'll also invite Gabe to come up once we get to that point in the song too. We'll repeat it a few times so you'll know it, but by the time that you have it memorized, you can come up, so don't worry about that. Okay. For years I would talk about how I wanted to change the world, but I always left it up to someone else to do. But then I finally realized I needed to take a stand, and that by changing my thinking I could change my life. That's how I could change the world. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love.
to be chosen to be here at this moment. What an amazing time in history. If the ushers would come forward. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. That's what we are here at Renaissance Unity. So in the joy of that, let's just affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Freely I give, and freely I receive. Kevin's fired up this morning. What do you think? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I want to get yours.
Absolutely not. You got mine. You got mine. We got all the others who are here this morning. We are so grateful for all the ways you serve Renaissance Unity, all the